Welcome back to AM Colorado, a news talk.
I wasn't.
KFKA.
I missed the hand signal from Joe. Sorry, Joe, I wasn't paying attention. News Talk 1310 KFK. And these are your hosts, Devin and Tom, and we are apparently having an off Monday. We'll repair that by tomorrow. And there's the bus. I deserve to be thrown under it today. I was talking to our guest about his headphones so that he could hear the lovely horn music. 8:39, your time check is brought to you by the Taste Affiliate, 829 16th Street. And we're joined in studio. Norm is never, ever coming back, and it's Norm Schriever.
No, I like you here. I'm definitely coming back.
Oh, good. Author of
Push-ups in the prayer room.
I'm like, it's push-ups. And
Everybody, welcome to my world.
Oh, Tom's getting smacked again. Okay, Norm, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
I loved the book. It was laugh out loud funny. I was sitting on the couch reading it last night, and everybody's like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, "The stories in here are hilarious." Though I was a little concerned about you at one point and whether you were going to make it to the end of the book. So tell us about how you came about this, the stories that are going to be in it.
Absolutely.
It's a great book.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is about Push-Ups in the Prayer Room is about a year that I backpacked around the world. Me and a friend just strapped on backpacks and quit our jobs and hit about 20 countries, 70,000 miles, 6 continents. And so, of course, along the way, it's detailing all the wild, crazy adventures we had and all the misadventures and dangerous things as well. So, yeah, I'm glad you liked it, and it's an entertaining read.
Yeah, it was great. So the part I was referring to, and Tom's given me a heck of a time with pronouncing the mountain in Peru, so I will let one of you guys pronounce it. Machu Picchu.
So you did perfect.
That's it.
You did perfect.
You would think that was Joe, but you would think I was hugely butchering it all morning. Okay, you guys decided to carry your water up to the top, all 90 pounds each, and then you got sick.
Not a good life choice in retrospect. You know, basically there's a trail called the Caminar Inca that goes up to Machu Picchu, and it's winding up these mountains. It's about a 4-day trail is the one we took. Well, most smart people and tourists, they hire porters. So they have these guys to carry their backpacks, their water, their food, and so they arrive at a campsite every night, and it's all set up for them. Well, we decided to go the rough route, and so we did all this ourselves without porters. And halfway through, I think I made some bad mashed potatoes with swamp water. And that's probably not where you want to do it. And so I got violently ill, and I was halfway through the trip. So what can you do? I mean, you could walk forward or walk back, but it's equal distances. So I just roughed through it, and I made it. But
I don't know how you did. And the story of how ill you were, and then you went out even after you got back into town because your friend needed a wingman.
Yeah,
that's
guy
ill.
Code. You can't leave your friend hanging.
No, you can't. So I have gathered from other friends of mine in their wingman scenario. But you lost a ton of weight on that trip.
Yeah, I was really ill on that one, and it's good for weight loss. You know, definitely. All these people spend all this money,
water.
Yeah, on fancy pills and diets. You don't need to exercise. Just drink some swamp water. You know,
just go down south, drink the water. So, Norm, Devin and I have a running dialogue in here. If it's a veggie wrap and you add chicken to it, is it still a veggie wrap? It is.
It's
not. Which leads me to one of your other stories. Is it ham or is it chicken?
Exactly.
Can it be chicken if it's ham?
There was so much random, just wild stuff when you're traveling around the world. And I think the story you're referring to, we were in Venezuela and we were just at a deli trying to buy some, just a sandwich. And everything that we tried to order, she would bring out ham. And we were like, no, we ordered chicken, we ordered this, we ordered that. And it turns out that there was only one ham in the whole deli, and she was just going to make ham of chicken, ham of, pastrami, ham of salad. I mean, she was just making up lunch meats at that point,
Veggie wrap ham.
Veggie wrap ham.
See, you can add ham to your veggie wrap.
Was she putting veggies on it, too? Just ham. You should have just gone with ham.
I think it was ham and bread at that point. Yeah, it wasn't too fancy. Yeah. But that is a philosophical question. You add meat to a veggie wrap. Is it still a veggie wrap?
No, it specifically has to be chicken.
Chicken. Okay.
Because if it's beef, then it's no longer a veggie wrap. If it's chicken, it's still a veggie wrap.
No, it is not. It's okay, Norm. You don't have to get into this.
That's a deep
debate.
philosophical question.
Exactly. So speaking of philosophical questions, Norm, you walked away, you left everything, you sold everything, you strap on the backpack for just over a year.
Yeah.
What'd you come away with?
Wow, good question. You definitely get humbled out there. When I went into it, I was younger, having fun. I was looking to party in nice beaches and have a good time. And by the end of it, I was really, really humbled at, how big the world was, how much there is to experience, and also the people. I mean, no matter where I went, people were warm, they were friendly, they were inviting. Even though I couldn't have been further off the map, I went to places where they've never even seen an American or a tourist. And, little kids would run up and touch my arm hair because it was blonde. I mean, I looked like an alien to them. But still, people were so nice and so kind. And so what I came away with it definitely was that people are not their governments, and people are not what you see in the media, and they're not their armies, and they're not their leaders. People are pretty much the same everywhere you go. So that was definitely enlightening. Yeah.
So through the book, you guys talk about always looking for a game of basketball in each country. I loved that. There was one country. Did you finally succeed in finding that basketball game?
Yeah, I think it was Manila in the Philippines.
That was it, yes.
Yeah, we were all over that country for about 6 weeks and, from top to bottom. And it's a pretty big country, a lot of islands and everything. And we finally did find a basketball court, and it was, directed, about 10 people directed us to the middle of the city. And it was just on the side of a street. It was the most rickety backboard you could ever find. But we just started shooting around, and pretty soon everyone gathered around us, and it was almost like a street fair. There was a ton of locals and people watching, and so it was a really cool experience.
I think that's great. And you also talked about that was the best way to meet people in those countries and intermix with them, and it was just an easy in to talk to people.
Yeah, it was our basically way of meeting locals and getting acclimated any place we would go and getting a quick workout in. So, but it's also humbling to be dunked on by like a 5'4" guy with flip-flops, I don't recommend that. Of course, I didn't put that in the book. In the book, I'm dunking on everyone, but it was the opposite, really.
That's funny. So before we forget, Norm, where can our listeners get access and purchase the book?
Sure. They could go to normschriever.com, and the last name is SCHRIEVER, normschriever.com, and they could buy it there, or it's also on Amazon.com.
Excellent. And we'll cross-link that with our AM Colorado Facebook page as well. So how many years ago was this, Norm? Just over a decade?
Yeah, this was actually about 99 to 2000. So I was much younger and less wise then, a little crazier. And but since then, I've also hit the open road again, and I currently live in Costa Rica. I moved down about a year ago to write this book. And so spending time in Central America and sort of redoing the whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what are those lessons, do you think, for you, now that you're over a decade removed from it, how you've lived your life, how it's impacted, changed your life?
Yeah, I mean, good question. I love that I was exposed to so many different cultures, and I'm a little less quick to judge, a little listen more and talk less. Now when I went down to Costa Rica to write this book, it was really about following my dream of being an author and writing a book. And, I was up against turning 40, and I figured if not now, when? And so I think people should really take account of their lives and look at what their dreams are and their hopes are and follow that, and don't wait till tomorrow.
Wonderful. So one of the synopses that I loved was want to go on a wild, sexy, dangerous, enlightening, and hilarious trip around the world, then read this book. That summed it up.
And that's just what my mom said. I mean, you could imagine.
Thank goodness for those moms. I truly laughed out loud at your dating, your illness up the mountain. It was just funny and wonderful to read. I loved it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, and it's been a wild, great journey of just reconnecting with a lot of people, and some of the proceeds from the book are going to charity, and so I'm trying to do a little good in the world, too, with spreading this message. Yeah.
Excellent. Norm, you got a buddy in studio with you. You want to go ahead and...
Oh, yeah. I want to give a shout-out to Riley up there at the group in Fort Collins, and Mel, and thanks so much for being my host in Colorado. love you, buddy. And you want to say any words, Riley? You want to? No, he's all right.
Riley's
He's
good.
tapping out. He's tapping out. Well, and guys, thanks so much, too. I really appreciate you guys having me in here. And nice meeting you.
The next time you're in Fort Collins, let us know. We'd love to have you come back in again, hear about whatever new adventures or book writing.
This time next year, there'll be another book called Get Happy that I'm going down to Central America to write over this year. And so I'd love to come in and visit you and tell you about that one, too.
I can't wait for that one. If it is as laugh out loud and hilarious as this one was, and I know that wasn't the intention, but that's how your writing came across in your stories was I got the way you touched the kids and buying them ice cream and things like that, but it was just funny to read, and I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Oh, thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it.
And that website, normschriever.com, and we'll have the spelling up on the AM Colorado Facebook page. Push-ups in the prayer room. Norm, thank you very much for joining us this morning. This is AM Colorado on News Talk 1310 KFKA with your host,